Hey everyone, good evening. It's actually pretty late here at my house, but I received the replacement BCX Hyperraptor to take the place of my broken Hyperraptor. So I am going to be putting that together. I will not be shooting it tonight, but I will be putting it together and just giving kind of my first impressions. And then in a follow-up video here just in a couple of days, I will then be shooting it, sighting it in. There are some updates and some changes to it that I want to show you guys compared to the old one. Now my old one I did have to send back. They will be looking at the arrow and the knock and also the bow just to go through it. Their engineers are going to go through it, see if they can figure out what exactly happened, why that failed. Again, as I've told you guys, this is the first instance that has been brought to their attention, and they are working closely with Luminoc to make sure it doesn't happen anymore, right? So I had to send that back, so I won't be able to do a complete side-by-side comparison, but I will be able to tell you from experiences what's better, what's changed, right? So let's go ahead and open up this box and start checking it out. All right, so here it is inside the box that it came with. I always like their branding. This is like a poster. It just looks cool. Obviously, that has nothing to do with if the bow is any good, but I do like that you get a cool box. It gets you excited for what's inside, right? Instead of just a boring cardboard box, you get a beautiful box with cool branding on it. So here we are again. If we move down, obviously this is the Buck Commander version of the Hyperraptor, right? So they got those guys, and then they have information on their different sights that they have for this. So this one that I received is coming with a speed ring scope on it, so I will have to be setting that up. You can see it there. But other than that, it looks very similar, different colors, but there are some changes we need to discuss. I'm gonna go ahead and try to open these with the worst scissors in the world. So it's just telling you what comes in it, guys. It tells you the camo. It's just a cool box. Not important, but like I said, it gets you excited. So this is the next box underneath. Really, it was a sleeve, guys. So let's go ahead and open this up. One thing I'm always actually quite impressed with is Barnett's packaging. I mean, isn't this what you want to see when you open your box? Your arrows are supported. They're not bouncing around in there, guys. They're very nicely supported in the styrofoam, right? I just think that's important. I mean, you pay a lot of money for your bolts. You don't want them just bouncing around in there. But that's the first looks. Looks like you got your main part, and then down below is the front of it. So let me just set the phone down a second. I'll pull this out of here and we'll take a look at it on the table. And I do apologize, guys. I am, again, doing this one-handed, so let me get the rest of it out. There's some accessories in the sides there. Let me get those out, and let's take a look. So I think it's pretty clear that I struggled putting together that center point when I did that video, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, guys. What's nice about these Barnetts is there's just one bolt, right? One bolt. The scope is already on it. You know, you might need to adjust that. You might not, right? So it's just nice that the scope's on it already, and we're talking about 1-bolt installation, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You gotta appreciate that. So right off the bat, there's a couple things that should be noticed about this, right? So one, your halo is actually a little bit bigger than it was on the original Hyperraptor. That should make it easier to, you know, put your bolts in. The limbs are actually heavier limbs, so you're going from 410 feet per second to 425, and you probably won't be shooting that high with your setup, you know, but that's how high it can shoot with the correct grain arrow. But you're gaining speed compared to the original Hyperraptor because you have heavier limbs. They also have different cams on here, guys, so there has been a fair amount of changes, right? There's just little things to notice that you might not notice if you weren't really paying attention, I guess. So I'm gonna keep putting this together, but just some things to note, right? Bigger halo, heavier limbs, new cams. That's all kind of some important stuff, you know, when you're wondering, is this any different than the original? So you can see that that cam design is actually just different. I think it looks a lot cooler, guys. I do love the camo that's on here. But there's your bigger halo. And you can actually tell the limbs are heavier, guys, just by looking at them. And it's a little different design, but very, very slick looking. So I know I keep saying I'm going to finish putting this together, but now I am going to put it together and then show you guys. So again, it's not that hard to put these together. I'm sure Barnett even has a video if you need it. They usually do. If not, it's a bolt, right? So you don't have anything going through your stock. You're 1 bolt. So let me do that and then show you guys the result after that. So obviously your 1 bolt just goes in right there, guys. And here it is. If you see little tags like this on your crossbow stuff, probably should pay attention to it. So it says hand tighten and then check after the first 20 shots. It's just something to note. So looking at this attached to quivers and arrows, guys, this is actually the old Hyperraptor quiver attachment. So they have gone back to one they had where this attaches to your Picatinny rail, and then this will go right in here. Sorry about that. This will go right in here, and you kind of just push this instead of having this horrible latch. Absolutely horrible on the first Hyperraptor, guys. If you have any decent sized fingers, you couldn't undo it. So here's something to note, guys, on this quiver, right? So it goes in there like I just showed you. But right here is this little tiny Allen head screw. And if you undo that, you actually can turn this a little bit. So you can actually turn your quiver so that it's pivoted a little farther away from the bow if you like. It's just a little more adjustable, and a lot of people don't know that. So if you want a little more space between your quiver and your hand, or the quiver and the side of the bow, go ahead and turn that, and it will turn your bolts a little further away, giving you a little bit more room. Kind of a neat little trick that I didn't know about, honestly. So already the quiver is 1,000 times better, and I mean that. Seriously, guys, the quiver was probably my least favorite quiver of all time. So I'm excited that they changed that and have gone back to something that's a little more easier for us more fat-fingered guys to use. So another thing to note, this handle, I don't know if you've watched my other video, it used to clack pretty loud. They have adjusted this. It's not near as loose as it used to be. I mean, there still has to be some looseness, guys, just to make sure it works. But that used to be so loud. So that's a nice upgrade as well, guys. It's nice to see that they looked at the comments that we were having, and you know, upgraded some of this stuff. And as I mentioned before, I will do a much more in-depth video when it's not late at night and I'm not exhausted. So hopefully in the next day or so, I'll be able to get this thing out there, sighted in. Obviously, I want to because we are currently hunting. So just wanted to quick get a video up, show you guys, you know, first impressions, what I think. Guys, it looks sweet. They've made some updates. You know, I have high hopes here, right? Different cams, heavier limbs, bigger halo, nicer flip down handle, pistol grip in the front, right? And then of course you got your speed ring scope on this one, which is nice too. And of course the Trigger Tech trigger, guys. I have been using other bows lately here, and I've missed my Trigger Tech trigger. I am not gonna lie to you. They're just so nice. They really are. So here it is, put together. You also have the adjustable stock at the end, always nice. Thanks for coming and checking this out, guys. I know it's not my usual lighting, it's not maybe my usual quality of video, and I promise you the next one, when we're outside and we're firing this thing, will be a lot better. But for any of you guys kind of thinking about it, I just wanted you to be able to see it first and then know that I am doing a video here in a few days of what I think. Does it shoot as nice as the original Hyper Raptor? Just the feel of it in my hands, guys. It's good to have it back. It really is. So we'll catch you on the next one. Like and subscribe if you can, guys. Obviously, that's the type of stuff that lets me continue to keep doing this. And we'll see you on the next one.